Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get latest notifications.
Assalamu alaikum dear students, hope all of you are fine. Let's continue our studies with the male reproductive system. Previously, if you remember, I simply go through the testes. Testes are the primary sex organs present in males. They are two in number, hanging in a pouch of skin from the abdominal cavity. That pouch of skin is called as scrotum. Then that pouch of skin is divided by a muscular division into left scrotal half and right scrotal half. Left scrotal half will consist of left testis and right will consist of right testis. Fine. Then I told you inside testes there are the structures called as seminiferous tubules. These are the tubule-like structures which are simply engaged in the process of spermatogenesis. That is the formation of sperm cells. And then outside these seminiferous tubules are simply surrounded by the connective tissue. And in this connective tissue there is presence of the interstitial cells of Leydig's. Those interstitial cells of Leydig's are the cells which secrete the male sex hormone called as androgens and main male sex hormone testosterone. Fine. Then outside you will see these testes are surrounded by connective tissue called as tunica albugina. Fine. Outside. After the skin, scrotal skin, there will be connective tissue covering that will cover the testes. That connective tissue covering is called as albugina. Then shape of testes is oval and they have dimensions of 4 into 3 into 2.5 centimeter. That is length, thickness and width. Length, thickness and width. They are 4 centimeter in length, 3 centimeter in thickness and 2.5 centimeter in width. Fine. Then one important point here is that the scrotum acts thermoregulator for the testes. Scrotum acts as thermoregulator for the testes. That means where there is simply change in the heat content. Actually you will see this scrotum which is outside the body hanging from the abdominal cavity. It has less temperature than body temperature by 2 degrees Celsius. Scrotum has less temperature than the body temperature by 2 degrees Celsius. Why? Because this less temperature is necessary for the formation of spermatogenesis, for the process of spermatogenesis, for the formation of sperm cells. That is why this scrotum possesses less temperature by 2 degrees Celsius than the body temperature. Fine. When in winters, you will see in winters this scrotum shrinks. So that testes will move towards the body and body heat will get transferred into the testes because outside the temperature is very less during winters. Fine. And in summers, same scrotum, you will see this scrotal skin will relax and testes will move away from the body so that body heat will not get transmitted to the testes because outside temperature is high during summers. This is how scrotum acts as thermoregulator for the testes so that there will be constant maintenance of the temperature in testes less than by 2 degrees Celsius than body temperature. I hope it's clear. This is about the testes and scrotum. Then you will see when testes simply end, they end like this. Small, very minute tubule-like structures, very minute, small capillary-like tubules. They end like that, and from that end, you will see there is the rise of simply a cord-like structure, simply a cord-like structure, which is the second organ present in male reproductive system, called as epididymis. I repeat, testes are simply ending as very small minute capillary like tubules called as Vasa efferentia, called as Vasa efferentia. It is the part of testes where they end up, and from Vasa efferentia there is simply coming out small diameter pipe which is called as epididymis, which almost covers 1/3 of the each testes, and that small diameter pipe is simply called as epididymis. Its length is almost 6 meters. Its length is almost 6 meters. That is why it covers almost 1/3 part of the testes. In epididymis, sperm cells remain for about 16 to 24 hours. In epididymis, sperm cells remain for about 16 to 24 hours when received from the testes. Here you will see they will simply gain motility to some extent, but still sperm cells are not 100% egg-to-end motile. That means epididymis simply acts as a reservoir of sperm for the time being. Sperm cells are temporarily stored in the epididymis. Then, where epididymis ends, then there will be start of another small tube-like structure, which is bit coiled, and that small tube, coiled tube, which simply starts at the end of the epididymis, is called as Vasa deferens. It is 30 to 35 centimeter in length, but it's a bit coiled. This Vasa deferens starts from the end where epididymis ends. Then it is again small tube-like structure, pipe-like structure, which has length of 30 to 35 centimeter. But epididymis was having a length of 6 meters. That is a good length, but it's very short. Fine. Then this Vasa deferens simply passes over the urinary bladder. I hope you remember that urinary bladder is the part of excretory system, not part of reproductive system. When this Vasa deferens passes over the urinary bladder, it receives the duct from seminal vesicles. And moving forward, this forms ejaculatory duct. Vasa deferens starts at the end of epididymis, and when it simply passes over the urinary bladder, it receives duct from the seminal vesicles, which is an accessory gland present in the male reproductive system. After receiving the duct from seminal vesicles, further it moves as ejaculatory duct, that is simply connected with the next part of the male reproductive system, which is urethra. But here it is clear that when it receives duct from the seminal vesicles, that means the addition of secretion of seminal vesicles is simply taking place at which part of the male reproductive system? It is Vasa deferens. That means secretion of seminal vesicles is added to sperm cells at Vasa deferens, because duct of seminal vesicles joins male reproductive system as at Vasa deferens. Seminal vesicles give their secretion through their duct. They are exocrine glands which have ducts, give their secretion through the duct, and that duct is received by the Vasa deferens, which means sperm cells are simply added with the secretion of seminal vesicles in Vasa deferens. Fine. Then Vasa deferens finally forms ejaculatory duct that is simply connected to the next part of the male reproductive system, which is called as urethra. Urethra is the part which is actually present in both male reproductive system as well as the excretory system in males. That means it is meant for both male reproductive system as well as excretory system in the males. Male urethra is of length 20 centimeter. Male urethra is of length 20 centimeter. It is simply starting from the ejaculatory duct, then it moves through the next organ pens and opens to the exterior. This urethra is just a 20 centimeter long tube-like structure through which both there is discharge of the male gametes as well as the urination. That means in case of males, there is only one route for the discharge of sperm cells out of the body as well as for urination, that is expelling urine from the body. Both have same route, it's through urethra, and male urethra is of length 20 centimeter. Fine. And this urethra simply moves through the next organ of the male reproductive system called as pens and opens to the exterior of the body, where both male gametes are discharged at the time of discharge of male gametes and urination takes place at the time of urination. Only one route for both urination as well as discharge of male gametes. Fine. Then there is the last part of the male reproductive system, which is called as pens. Pens is an erectile organ present in human males. Pens is an erectile organ present in human males, which is simply used during the process of intercourse for mating. Fine. This pens is actually made up of the spongy tissue called as corpus spongosum and another tissue corpus cavernosum. The spongy tissue present in this pens will simply is spongy. That means when there is very high blood circulation taking place in this spongy tissues present in the pens, you will see pens will show erection. That means stiffness. It will become hard due to the increase in the blood circulation. And this is the organ which is having a function to deposit male gametes in the female reproductive tract. That means pens has the function of deposition of male gametes into the female reproductive tract. Fine. And you will see head of the pens is sensitive and it's called as glans pens. Then most importantly, you will see that at glans pens there is a simply fold of skin present on it, which is called as prepuce. As I already told, the function of the pens is to deposit the male reproductive gametes, into the female reproductive tract. This is the role of pens as well as the role of other organs in male reproductive system. Now there are three glands, accessory glands present in the male reproductive system. First type of glands, which I told you already, seminal vesicles. Seminal vesicles are the secretory structures. They are two in number. That means seminal vesicles are two glands. They are two in number, located behind the neck of the urinary bladder. Seminal vesicles are the male accessory glands which are secretory in nature, located behind the neck of the urinary bladder. They give a secretion which is simply alkaline secretion, rich in the nutrients, and main nutrient which is present in the secretion of seminal vesicles is fructose, which is actually sugar. We can also say this is the energy source for the sperm cells. Why sperm cells need energy? Because they have to travel a lot of distance, first in the male reproductive system from testes to the urethra, finally through pens they are discharged in the female reproductive system. Then in female reproductive system they have to again travel a lot of distance where they will fuse with the ovum, female gamete. For that purpose they need energy, and that energy will be provided by a source of food, and which is mainly fructose, and this fructose is actually present in the secretion of seminal vesicles. But remember, this secretion is overall alkaline in nature. Fine. Then there is the second gland present in the male reproductive system called as prostate gland. Prostate gland is only one present in the male reproductive system, only one prostate gland present in the male reproductive system. This prostate gland again gives thin alkaline milky secretion, but this thin alkaline milky secretion gets added to the sperm cells in urethra, but the secretion of seminal vesicles gets added to the sperm cells in Vasa difference. That means prostate gland simply joins urethra to give its secretion through its duct, and the secretion of prostate gland is again alkaline in nature, rich in certain ions, like we have citrate ions as well as calcium ions, and there is also presence of some enzymes in the secretion of prostate gland, like we have enzyme fibrinolysin, or we have another one acid phosphatase, etc. These ions and acid phosphatase or any other enzymes, they help simply for the successful fertilization. But remember one thing, prostate gland adds its secretion to the sperm cells in urethra. Fine. Then there is the last male accessory glands called as Cowper's glands. These are also called as bulbourethral glands. And these are again two in number, fine, and they are again located at the front portion of the urethra, and again their duct joins urethra like that of the prostate gland, but these are two in number. That means their secretion will get added to the sperm cells in same organ. What is that? Urethra. Prostate gland as well as bulbourethral glands or Cowper's gland give their secretion in which part of the male reproductive system? It is urethra. And the secretion of Cowper's gland is again thin alkaline secretion rich in the mucus, which acts as lubricant for the sperm cells, One important point is that the sperm cell is simply getting some additional secretions from seminal vesicles, prostate gland and Cowper's gland. When there is addition of secretion of seminal vesicles and sperm cells, that forms a fluid which is called as semen, But you can also say like this, sperm cells simply added with the secretion of seminal vesicles, secretion of prostate gland as well as Cowper's gland forms semen. It's also correct. But sperm cells are not secreted as such. They are actually secreted in the form of a white color fluid which is called as semen, which possesses secretion of all the three glands. I hope it's clear to all of you. Rest we will discuss in the next lecture. Till then, stay safe, stay good. Thank you so much.